Hello. Welcome to Ladygang. I'm Becca Tobin here with Jack Vanek and Kelty Knight. And I just want you guys to know I'm being sabotaged in the Ladygang because we just recorded an entire episode with Heather Gay. My microphone was not the correct microphone that I was supposed to be using. None of these bitches said anything. And then a couple weeks ago, we had Mr. JC Chazet in studio, and my mic was off the entire interview. So
Kelty,
strike two, strike three is going to be...
You're too charming, and we can't let you... If you existed at full Becca, it's like the star power would be too starry.
yeah,
so
we're too unbalanced right now, so we got to cut you out. Literally.
Third strike, and I'm going to do a spinoff by myself. Okay. All right. where my mic will be nice and high and
nice
hot.
and crisp.
Nice and hot. Also, Kelty, you remember when we gave you the note to take a sip of your coffee away from the microphone?
I tried.
You do it, but then before you swallow the liquid, you come back right up to the microphone. Speaking of microphones that I wish were not working, every swallow, like I could do a whole blooper reel of just your swallows. Like if Derek had a little downtime, I'd tell him to go in and catch it.
There is nothing like it. Like the gulping that you gulp is something that is inhuman.
It is. It's animalistic.
It's animalistic. It's like an animal that hasn't had a sip of water in like 10 days.
Like in the desert. You need to just keep your mic away while you got to complete the, let's see. She's practicing. It's weird. I still heard this.
I still heard it.
I did too.
It's because your neck is so long. It's still near the mic.
It's because I have fake teeth and fake lips, and like
it's
hard.
all fake.
It's all hard to get the liquids in there. I need a straw. A straw would be good.
It's rough out there.
Except your throat would still be in action.
Yes.
All right. Well,
I can't help you with this.
It's time for
Good week.
Yes, it is.
Bad week. Oh, no.
I'll start. I had my piercings done, my little third and fourth piercing on my ear at that place, Studs in Austin. We have a location. And I remember selecting, this was probably a year ago. I selected their actual like real earring, right? Like the diamond with the whatever, because I get so irritated from fake earrings. And I knew it was an investment because they're not inexpensive. And I'm really proud of myself because it's stayed in my ear for so long, they didn't budge. Well, I woke up the other morning and lo and behold, I was missing one of my diamond earrings. And I'm on a tight budget these days. I've given myself little to no room to purchase anything that I don't quote need through the end of the year. Cause it's that time of year where you feel poor at all times and you're always shelling out money. So I was really mourning this loss. And the other day I got home from Ladygang tour. It was a Sunday. I was so tired. I just was very sleep deprived, groggy, whatever. And Ford comes up to me and he's so cheery and he's so happy. And he's like, oh, I got a golf ball in my pocket. Daddy took me to play golf. And so he's like showing me. And then he kept being like, I have a diamond in my pocket too. And he had and I was like, that's cool, buddy. But he wasn't taking anything out of his pocket. He just kept telling me he had a diamond in his pocket. And I was like, what? Where he must have just learned the term diamond, whatever. So then hours go by. And he comes up to me. He's like, Mommy, you want to see the diamond in my pocket? And he takes his hand out of his pocket.
No.
And he has the tiny little diamond from the earring.
Oh my God.
Now it did snap off the like the post.
Wait, just the diamond?
The diamond in the little bezel setting. But they're tiny. Tiny. Like a grain of sand. And I was like, where did you find this? And he just pointed at the floor, like somewhere randomly on the kitchen floor. And I was like, you know what? Kids aren't all that bad. They can find small items on the ground.
You're lucky he didn't ingest it.
Well, I think at this age, they don't put so much stuff in their mouth that they know is not like candy or food.
Okay.
So he just was treasuring it. And it's cute.
That's really
cute. Are you going to take it back?
I have to take it to the store and see if they can fix it. But I mean,
how did it fall out? Is it not like a weasel backing?
Well, so they have their amazing like flat back earrings.
Yeah, that's what I have.
But it doesn't screw in. It just sort of like pushes in, right?
I don't trust that.
But mine have stayed like really, really sturdy. But now I need to go and get
I can't believe he found that diamond.
That's so funny.
It's the smallest thing you've ever seen. It's
like a little pirate.
He's a pirate. But kids are not that bad. They can do good things.
Yeah.
Rarely, but occasionally. Who's next?
So my good week is we just had, not just, a couple weeks ago, we had our Southern Ladygang shows. We were in Nashville and Atlanta. And Jared came to our Nashville show.
Yes.
And I told you guys, I was like, he after the show, he could not stop talking about how good the show was. He's like, wow, you guys, like the show is just so good. I can't believe it. Like everything is so perfect. And this is the one thing that I didn't tell you guys because I had to wait for the podcast. He goes, you know what? Kelty is magnificent. He used the term magnificent.
He's not wrong.
Magnificent.
To explain you during a Ladygang show. So anybody that is still on the fence about coming to San Diego and Phoenix, you are missing something magnificent.
It's so true.
Did he give any more details about like why that word?
It's inexplicable.
You don't need them. You don't need the details. Yeah.
It's also inexplicable.
Yes, it's a feeling.
It's a je ne sais quoi.
Yes.
Star power.
I think
star power.
We can maybe talk about some more details after our last shows are over because there is a surprise that Kelty gives the audience that we have kept a surprise this whole time. But that is the official review of Jared Monaco is Kelty is magnificent.
Wow. That's the only review that matters.
See, when
Jared
Jared
put that
was
on the
like,
website.
You should.
When Jared was so after the show, I remember him saying how great the show was and it feeling different than when normal people just, tell you that the show is good because they have to.
Yeah.
But his, and I knew he had seen our show in Phoenix a couple years ago. So I was also kind of like, this feels different.
Yeah.
But I just thought he was doing it because Jack hates doing the live shows so much that it's like when your kid hates doing something and they finally do it, you're like, you were incredible. You're amazing. So that you can like encourage them to keep going.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that was it. But then I did feel like that show in Nashville, it felt a little more special, not more special. The energy was great. The audience was great.
Yeah, there was something different about it. And he was not saying that to make me feel good because he didn't really mention me. He mostly mentioned Kelty.
That sounds about right.
Which is,
Kelty is the show, though.
She is the show. We're the supporting characters in the Kelty show.
I mean,
for sure.
I had a girl in Atlanta screaming at me from like the front row that I needed to talk more. And I was like, well, first of all, you can't get a word in with Kelty. So like,
I know. I feel so bad. That's
no, it's
Kelty,
meant to be this way.
It's what it needs to be.
And I wanted to look at her and be like, no, you don't understand the dynamic of this show, the importance of her having more words than us.
Yes. Because they're so fucking crazy.
Insane.
Oh my God.
Okay, so my bad week is so after the Atlanta show, Kelty went and stayed with our friend Emily.
Yep.
And me, Becca, our tour manager Carrie, and Derek all went to the hotel that we were staying at and we got some drinks. And our tour manager, Carrie, she had like a dry gin martini. And I was like, I really need to try a sip of this. This looks really good. And I had a sip and I'm like, this is the best thing that I've ever had in my life. I want to get one. So I ordered myself a martini. I've never had a martini before. It was so delicious. But the next day, you guys, worst hangover of my life. I puked in the airport.
No.
I was more hungover from that one martini.
That's because you didn't eat the burger because there was a garlic spread on it.
That's true.
You can't do martinis on empty stomachs. That will absolutely destroy you.
It wasn't empty because I had my salad, but you're right. Because I was like,
your salad was like when you're
your salad was at like 3 p.m.
No, I finished half of it before.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Yeah, no, but you have to eat like
you have to eat
a hearty meal. Otherwise,
it's a steakhouse drink.
No, for sure. I was like telling Jared, I was like, I was more hungover
in the airport.
after I landed at LAX, and Derek was waiting for me, and I was like, sorry.
Did you have to tell him?
No, I was just like, oops.
I can't wait to tell him today.
Yeah. No, but I was going to say, I was more hungover from that one drink than I was after literally raging my face off at when we were young. Like the martini, I don't know if I can handle them, but it was
potent.
so good. It was so good though.
I know, it's great. You just have to prime your tummy.
You have to have a truffle fry or something.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, Kelty?
Well, we can try again, Jack.
I'll try again.
Okay. My good week is I have a new word. It's called Fopo. Okay. It's the fear of other people's opinions.
Oh.
You know, there's like FOMO, fear of missing out. Fopo.
Isn't that Fopo?
Fopo?
It's like a fupa.
Fear
F-O-P-O.
of other.
The of doesn't count. It's not.
I think
I think it's Fopo.
Fupo?
Yeah.
That's not what the meme said, but okay, I'll go for it. Fupo, fear of other people's opinions. So it's like when I don't have it often, but every once in a while I'll get some Fupo and I'll just be like, I don't want to put this out in the world because I'm scared what people are going to think. You know, Fupo.
I don't think you have that.
No, but I wanted to give it as a public service announcement to other people. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It doesn't seem like something you struggle with.
My bad week is, it's a little rando, but it's important to me. I found out something very upsetting about bananas this week.
Oh.
Bananas are berries. Did you know that?
No.
It's not a tree. It does not have a stump. It's technically an herb. A banana's an herb.
That's not true.
It's 100% true. I read it online. Bananas are berries.
Oh, yeah. I think they grow in bushes.
Yeah.
No, banana trees.
But it's a bush. It doesn't have a stump.
Wait.
Bananas are berries, guys. They're the little berries of the bush.
Oh, no, they do grow on a tree.
Yeah. This feels like you maybe made this up. Like, did you see it on one meme also?
I don't know, but I wrote it down because I was shocked. Are you Googling it right now?
I mean, I looked at what they grow on the tree.
But it doesn't have a stump.
It's like a palm tree. Yes, it does.
Yes, banana is a berry.
Yeah.
Wait, and then it's saying, why is strawberry not a berry?
Oh,
because
no.
what we call fruit is not derived from the ovary, but rather off. This is stupid. It's
like
it's
not
a berry.
A fruit. People are
Whatever.
just
Bananas are berries.
as they go along.
Shut
Who
up.
Says?
Shut
Who
up,
says?
internet.
Everything is fake.
I'm just letting you know that now when they're like, have 4 fruits and vegetables a day, you cannot click your banana as your fruit and vegetable. And that has to go in your herb category in your
A berry is not an herb.
That's ridiculous. It's
a berry is not an herb.
Yeah,
it's
where did the herb come from?
I don't know. That's what it said.
No, an herb is like mint. Banana is not an herb.
I think bananas are...
Oh my God.
You can't be a berry and an herb.
I think you can.
No.
Oh my God. Hold on.
Wait, banana herb.
Hold on. No, a berry is not considered an herb. AI just provided me with that information.
It does say that the banana plant, you guys, it says the banana plant is an herb.
No, mine said berry. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Why are we talking about this? We have an icon coming up, okay? We have an icon and we're debating bananas.
It's very interesting. When we come back, Heather Gay from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, receipts, timeline, proof, screenshots is here.
The Ladygang.
Today's guest is one of the most relatable, hilarious, and downright iconic stars of the Housewives franchise. The star of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's a best-selling author, a beauty mogul, and the ultimate truth teller who always keeps it real. Whether she's navigating friendship drama or embracing her bad Mormon vibes, she does it all with human and heart. And she's back because she's got a brand new book. Good time, girl. Woo! Please welcome the fabulous Heather Gay back to Ladygang. Welcome back. Welcome home.
Hi, thank you. Welcome home. I love the good time girl flair. You know exactly the mood of the book. And
This is amazing. So the last book, we had you on a few years ago when Bad Mormon came out, and it was such a success. Did that shock you, surprise you, thrill you, scare you?
all of the above. I mean, it thrilled me mostly, but it also became like kind of this like transformative force in my life, because one, I got to write, which was like a thrill for me. And then to see it do well kind of was fulfilling on a personal level that I just, you don't imagine you'll get something like that, like a win like that this late in life. And it was so unexpected. And it just really connected me to this whole audience that I didn't realize existed, of a lot of bad Mormons out there, or bad Catholics, or bad lots of things, and everyone kind of related. So it felt amazing.
Okay, so we have been in your position before. We had Act Like a Lady, our first book that did very, very well. And then right away they were like, wait, people love books from you. We need you to write another one. And you're like, okay. And so did you feel the pressure, or did you have more stories? Did you have was it easy for Good Time Girl to come out of you?
Yeah, Good Time Girl poured out of me. And it was like when I wrote Bad Mormon, my editor was like, it can't be War and Peace, like cut it in half. And so I had all of these stories that I wanted to include in Bad Mormon. But when I went through the edit, it was like stories that scared me a little bit to talk about, or, were just not fully, they were just ideas that weren't fully formed, because I was still unpacking leaving the church.
Yeah.
And Bad Mormon was me just dipping my toe in the pool of water of being anti-establishment, I hadn't done that publicly. I'd gone on the show, sure, but to write a book called Bad Mormon, I didn't know how my community was going to react. And so Good Time Girl poured out of me, but it also just felt like the next step to this whole process of me kind of, I don't know, becoming who I am.
Okay, so describe Good Time Girl. For people who do not watch Salt Lake City, I mean, there's 4 of you in the world. But basically, this is a season 1 throwback.
Yeah, Good Time Girl is a season 1 throwback to when Lisa was describing how she knew me in college, and she had heard this rumor that I was a Good Time Girl, and she's kind of flipped her shirt up and said, honor code, what? Woo! And she said that to Jen, and then Jen transferred the information back to me, and somehow I was known for flashing people in college. And so Lisa and Jen came up with Good Time Girl, and the name stuck because I would have loved to have been a Good Time Girl in college, but I was not. And this is kind of the stories of when the Good Time Girl in me got out, and the ways that I've always been a Good Time Girl. I just was reluctant to, wear the badge with honor.
That's the best compliment anybody could give you. I think Good Time Girl, it's like, yes.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
At the time, I was offended by it. But now I'm like Lisa Barlow had it right all along. God damn it. All along.
Embrace it.
Who knew? This isn't so much a question, but an observation. I've been watching this season, and I'm just thinking, you really have become sort of the poster child or poster woman of women in this second half of their life who have left marriages, left churches, institutions, and all these things. And I think the reason that you are so championed as opposed to some of the other women in the franchise is you've never been really a victim of your circumstances. You've just really made the best of every situation, risen to the occasion. And I just think your energy around not feeling sorry for yourself and saying, look how much you have ahead has been so cool to see in the franchise, because we don't get that a lot. It's either I'm married and it's amazing and we have hot sex, and everybody's lying when they say that, except maybe John Barlow. We got to circle back to that.
John Barlow on oh my God. That volleyball trip. I was like, oh, John Barlow's spiking a volleyball.
Oh, what?
I mean, you almost got kicked out, but I'm glad you stayed for volleyball, John Barlow.
Me too. Or it's kind of a little bit of a victim, poor me, woe is me. So it's not really a question, but I think it's really awesome. And you've maintained it too throughout every season.
I mean, trust me, there were times when I felt like a victim and when I have been, deeply depressed and worried about my future. But there's no question that Housewives has completely transformed my life. I mean, I feel like, Kelty, the first time I met you, didn't I cry?
I mean, you were, you were just very unsure of
everything.
Of everything. You were like, what am I doing? And I think to put, you sign up for something because you know it's the right thing. But when I met you, it was right before the show had taped, but it hadn't, your life hadn't rocketed yet. And so it was just that fear, but you were a different person. I mean, I feel like just from watching you on the outside, you were very unsure of yourself, didn't want to stand up for yourself, didn't want to speak, just kind of like were definitely a follower. And now again, like with this book and this era, it's like you've broken free of like the expectations of what you're supposed to say, when you're supposed to say it, and if you're allowed to take up space. Like it feels like you're okay with taking up space.
I mean, it's a process, but yeah, like every day I feel like, and that's why, I mean, I feel a little bit more sure of my point of view and I feel safer to share it, you know, and I'm still very much a people pleaser, but Good Time Girl is kind of me ripping off the Band-Aid. Like these are stories that I was scared to tell because they would upset people or they would feel too much about me. And I was ashamed of when I'd been wild. I was ashamed of when I'd done crazy things. And so now to kind of talk about it in this cathartic way, to write about it and to expose it myself feels, like I'm taking up space and I'm not apologizing for it. And I'm celebrating kind of like, I got a second chance at life. Like Housewives changed everything. And now I'm not going to waste a single day, you know?
No, you're not. And now you're partying with Snoop Dogg. I need to know about that. That's the chapter I'm very interested in, Heather.
It's mostly just anytime I had a brush with anything outside the bubble of my life, that it just became a core memory and was impactful, and kind of this yearning from the time I was, 5 years old to just live a bigger life than I had been promised. But I never thought I would get to. Who gets to?
But where did you party with Snoop Dogg?
I know you circumnavigated that question.
Sundance.
Oh, sorry.
At Sundance?
I've partied with Common. I've partied with Snoop.
Oh.
I met Kanye when he was friends with Common back, like they had a party, a birthday party for Common, I think at like some club downtown. It was during the Sundance era. And like we would have these brushes. When we heard that the stars were coming to town, the country mice came out from BYU dressed in our finest and did whatever it took to just have a brush with a bigger life, with all of it, the celebrity and fame. And it felt like the only time we'd ever get to.
I have a question about Salt Lake. Like when you left the church, was there a part of you who wanted to leave Salt Lake altogether because it's such a Mormon town?
Yeah, 100%. I wanted to just start off anonymously. I wouldn't have to face my neighbors or my family or, send my kids to school with all Mormons, and be the house where like people don't feel comfortable letting their kids come play, like I didn't want to be that, but I had just gotten a job on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It was a catch-22, People are always like, why don't you leave? I will never leave. Now I love Salt Lake City. I see it with fresh eyes. I'm so proud to be from Utah. And I love these women that are on the show with me. They have become my family and friends. And so it's replaced, whatever I lost has been replaced, exponentially. Especially if people love this book, it'll be like, I will be so over the moon.
Well, I haven't talked to you since, it's crazy, but it's a year ago now, Golden Globes last year. I literally had this run-in with Jennifer Lawrence. I'm sure you've seen it, but I literally was on the E-platform and I was very overwhelmed with all the questions I was supposed to ask people. And then I saw sweet Jennifer Lawrence and I was like, thank God, someone who gets me, who understands what's important in Hollywood. And she comes up on the platform. I was like, and it was right after receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots. It was like literally a week later. And I just was like, oh my God, thank God you're here. I grabbed her hand like we were old friends, like I do sometimes. And I embarrass like Becca and Jack. And I was like, I need to talk about Housewives. And she just did a full monologue of you. And then admitted to me that she'd be willing to give you her Oscar. Have you heard from Jennifer Lawrence? Has she, talked about the Oscar exchange?
I reached out, of course, and gave her my mailing address and requested said Oscar, but it has not arrived. No, that was just like obviously an out-of-body experience and so fun to just see the way that Housewives or moments like that are connecting. They connect all of us. Like I never thought Jennifer Lawrence would quote me, and I have not had any contact with her since then, except for just my like undying fangirling. One directional fangirly.
Yes. And I haven't finished this. Obviously, the season is still going right now for Salt Lake. But I do think that moment in this season might be Lisa Barlow telling her cybersecurity guy to go the distance.
I want a full
in my head now. Like
I want a full investigation. I want to go the distance.
I was like, Salt Lake just delivers. Like those moments are so genuine and authentic, but also just insane. Like just the drama is so rich. And I think that might be the receipts timeline of this season. Although I don't know what's coming. I'm sure there's a lot
coming. There's a lot coming that are there. Like the thing is, sometimes lines like that will land with us, but we don't realize it when it's happening. But then when we see the episode, like I've probably had 2 or 3 conversations with either Meredith or Lisa where I'm just like, I'm not kidding. I'm going to go the distance. And then and it becomes like part of our own lexicon because it lands, you know?
God, it does.
Okay. What's strange to me, and when I saw the title of the book, I was like, wow, we've come full circle, because it feels like on this season that like one of your best friends on this season is Lisa Barlow, which is wild to me because of the way y'all started. But like, you've come around. I feel like the Good Time Girls are now a good time duo.
Oh yeah. Like Lisa Barlow, our relationship is totally different. I consider her one of my like closest friends and allies. And like more than that, I consider her like an old friend. You know how there's a difference? Like old friends, it's not like, oh, we just have slumber parties and hang out and go to lunch every day. It's just like, I know if I need to make a call, I can count on her. And like, she would have been the last person I would have called season 1. You know, we had a lot of history that we had to work through. But like when you consider the things we've been through since then, it's really bonded us. And I trust her and, you know, deeply like love and respect her. And that's something I never thought I would say, especially to you, Kelty, because you've known how much.
I'm like, what alternate universe are we in right now? This is wild, but like, I actually love it. And I don't know, there's something about this season. I don't, you saw it last season too, but I think it goes along with the theme of this book about sort of breaking free of like who you think you're supposed to be, because like now, even in this situation with Bronwyn that's been happening, like you go and you sit on your couch and you're like, no. This is what I need. This is what Heather wants. It feels like you've been in a lot of therapy. Someone's been like, what does young Heather need? What's your childhood trauma that like, why don't you get yourself your answers? Why are you trying to please everybody else? Like now you can sit in conflict, which is your job. Let's be honest. Your job, your job is to not all get together and have the most fun of all time. Like we live our shitty lives trying to watch you have some petty fights on television. And that is thrilling to us. And it's a stress release for all of America and the world. So, you know, you have to do your job, which is conflict.
Nodding aggressively when you said therapy.
Yes. And so it's like, but now you sit in it and you're like, okay, I'm okay to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I still hate feeling uncomfortable. I'm a middle child. I'm also like a white, which people don't like recognize about me. Like I have had to learn when I'm in those situations to let the conflict happen instead of be like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. We're all going to work it out. But you love her. But don't you remember? I mean, I have decided that it's not my job to like make sure everyone's happy. Like that's just exactly what you said. And I am in therapy. I've been in therapy for like 10 years. But, you know, it's like, I'm so grateful for it. And writing this book was therapy for me because I'm writing about young Heather and I'm starting to see with adult perspective and with the perspective outside of the church. Like that's the biggest thing. Like I didn't have any role models of women that got divorced, left the church, and thrived. I didn't know one single woman. And so for me to be living this, it's like uncharted territory. It is kind of a new trail I'm blazing. And I get to look back on who I was when I was little. And instead of looking at it with like this lens of shame and sin and, you know, wickedness, I'm seeing it as like my authentic self that's just always been trying to get out. And thank you, Andy Cohen, for giving her a chance.
Oh my God. Incredible. All right. When we come back, Heather's going to convince Jack to be a housewife. All right. We are back. Heather Gay has a brand new book, Good Time Girl. And she is here today talking about housewives and her new book. And what you don't know, Heather, is that Jack has recently been approached by the housewives of OC. Ish.
Adjacent. A friend of a friend.
A friend of a friend has approached her, which is how these casts are made, okay?
How the best casts are made. When it's a friend of a friend. A friend
of a friend, not just like this random person that we have to pretend we're friends with. Other cities. I won't say who. Anyway, so, Heather, it's changed your life for the better. I think just convince Jack, housewife of OC. She would be incredible. First, Jack, you tell your part, and then Heather will convince you.
Well, no, I just, the way that you're describing how it's changed your life is just something I've never heard before and never seen, like with a housewife. Like it's changed your life for the best, and it's benefited you, and you've like found yourself through it. And I think you genuinely seem to love it. But then that seems so rare. I mean, I feel like everybody else like thrives on like the drama of it all. And like, I feel too fragile.
Well, if you feel like you're fragile and you want to toughen up, Housewives is a great way to do it, because it really teaches you to detach from, I know it sounds bizarre, but you detach from image and ego. It's like you think that your ego would explode, but it's the exact opposite. Like, I've been protecting my ego my whole life. And if you really want to, kick someone in the back of their knees, put them on television and have the world tell them what's wrong with them. It's just a way, it just feels like it's a meditative step forward in a really aggressive, conflict-filled way. And I just think it's the chance of a lifetime to live out your experiences on camera and to get dressed up and fight over oysters and champagne. I just think that it's so far reaching, and the access and opportunity that's given me to not pursue it, not with everything you are, but just to not pursue it a little bit is like to ignore the treasure box after you're leaving the dentist office,
Oh, wow.
Not the treasure box.
That is such a deep cut.
Nobody walks by the treasure box at the dentist office and says, I don't need it, not interested. You're curious, and it is what you make it, like anything, But if you have a great life, don't mess it up.
Yeah. See, that's the problem. Yeah. I really, really enjoy my life, and I love protecting my peace the way that it is. But when this all happened, we're like, it's just so funny that it came to me, because I'm like the least out of the three of us that would ever have
like
the personality
literally buying
for
a house in Utah tomorrow so that I can be on Housewives. Like,
we're trying to get Kelty on.
You're kind of a shoo-in. You know that. You've been shoo-in since season 1.
Get this, Heather, the friend of the friend that reached out to Jack. I was like, Jack, I got to be honest. She got her number through me. I was like, I got to be honest. Jack's never going to do it. Like we had our show on E, and she like really hated it. She doesn't like to wear a bra. So it's like very hard nipples at all times, and TV is not into that. So it's like not hard nipples all the time, but like, it was a hard nipple every once in a while. Anyway. And I was like, but if you want, I can just buy a condo in the OC and do it. And the person was like, no.
But Kelty would be the best housewife ever.
I was going to say, I know we're biased, but Kelty would make the greatest housewife of all time.
Yes.
I mean, it's true. When I met her, I thought we should switch chairs. I probably said that to you. Like, why am I over here? I remember you had like this exquisite outfit. It was something you had designed.
But it's
from like Forever 21. I swear to God I was. And I was just like,
no, you were wearing Zara because you told me. And I said, don't tell people that. Tell people it's the row. Actually, or no. God. You were so funny. You were like, because damn ass Lisa Barlow was in her Saint Laurent leather or whatever. And then Jen Shaw was there in a full Gucci suit, which she brought 3 furs to the interview, an arrival fur, an interview fur, and a photo fur.
Yeah.
We know how that worked out. But anyway, it was like wild. I'm like, you know what? Maybe you should have been wearing the Zara. Okay. But you look beautiful. You're beautiful then. You're beautiful now. I have a few other questions for you.
Can I ask one question for Jack? Just for Jack.
Yep.
As far as the hatred that you receive from the public, do you find that the beginning, the first season, it's the worst, and then you become desensitized, or people like leave you alone a little bit more, or does it depend on if you're the antagonist in a season? Like, how does that work as far as what you have to endure?
I mean, you don't have to endure any of it because it all happens online in this virtual world, and you can dip your toe in as much as you want, but it happens every week. Like every week when it's airing, like it is it's a split line, like on which side people's arguments fall. And like you have your true blues that are like, I mean, I could do anything and they would just defend me. But then you have people that watch it like a sporting event every week, and they pick their team and they decide and they throw popcorn at the screen, I'm sure. And a lot of them take it to social media, and so it's weekly. We live or die by the episodes every week.
How do you not let it affect you? Like, how do you not, start going down the rabbit hole of the hate comments and just kind of let it like slide off your back?
Well, I don't read the comments that much because it works both ways. Like sometimes it's so nice that you just like feel like, oh, I'm the shit, like come to me, my people. And then but because it's all the same, the negative and the positive, it's kind of vapor in the mist, it comes and goes. And I just am so thrilled to have the chance to do this. And like, it's an adrenaline rush. Like, what else would I be doing? Like throw me out there, see what happens. It's like the
Good time,
Super
girl.
Bowl every week. And now that we're 5 years in, I have teammates that are in it with me.
Yeah.
And it's the hardest because you're so isolated. You think you've never heard these things about yourself before. You thought you were hot shit. You just landed a job as a housewife. And then you find out that no, it's been a big mistake and you're not supposed to be there. So it's just kind of fun. And it's improved my life so much that like, if someone had offered this to me in the beginning and said, people are going to call you Shrek, I'd be like, yeah, I don't care. Where do I sign?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
It's
I
in
love it.
perspective.
Wow.
Okay. I want to switch gears to your business of Beauty Lab, because we've been having a big conversation. Sorry to I'm like, I know you're here for your book, but can I talk about lip filler? So I've been seeing a lot that we're like not filling as much anymore. Like people are not filling, filler is kind of out and we're more into the other things. Heather, as the expert, can you give us the update on like, what are people buying at Beauty Lab? And then what's the new laser that we need to get?
Yes.
Thank you.
So it's all the rage right now is these things called exosomes. And I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's kind of like the next level of PRP and stem cell therapy, which is all the rage. We're going more to the quiet luxury look, less plump and more just overall skincare. So the Fraxel laser, it's great and less downtime, more kind of just like soft preventative care of the skin. Exosomes, injections. It's like they take your blood, your plasma, spin it with this special thing. I'm not medical, right? I'm just on the front end.
Right.
They spin it.
Kind of like Sculptra, PRP, that type of thing. But also a lot of stuff we're hearing about the M-Sculpt for tightness,
Yeah.
Really good.
Okay.
So that's the latest. Yeah.
And what do you think of we just had Jessie from Mormon Wives on. What do you think about this other show? Are you watching? Did you give those girls advice? And what do you think about the Utah look?
Listen, I now can tell a hairstylist, I don't want mom talk hair, or I want mom talk hair. And it's a very specific thing. So thank you to those girls for giving us a baseline for glam around the world. I did not give them any advice. They did not come asking me. They're like young, hot versions of the Salt Lake City Housewives was 20 years ago. And I wish these women the best. Television changed my life. I hope it changes their life, gets them some financial independence. I hope they leave their domineering husbands and know that they can. They can get divorced. They don't have to cry for 7 years like I did. They don't have to weep, sackcloth and ashes. They can just celebrate and move on and live their best lives and get as many injections as they want. Like, I love that they're just loud and proud about it. And I want them all to come to Beauty Lab.
You're just the funniest person. You really are the good time girl.
I know.
You're the good time girl. Okay, last thing. Are you dating? And do we need to set you up?
Well, no one ever wants to get it set up with me. But yeah, I mean, you could always give it a try. I went to the Utah Hockey Club last night. We just got a hockey team, which we're really excited about in Utah. And it was, let me just say, ladies, a target-rich environment. I was we're buying season tickets now because it was the ratio is like 10-1, men to women. And it was the masculine energy in the room. I was just like, I don't need a club. I just need a beer and a hockey game. And I think I'm going to be fine. It's the next chapter of my life.
It's Raya Fairheather is just the hockey club.
Still on the wait list, Kelty. No, I've been on the wait list for like 5 years. They won't let me on Raya.
Shut up.
What?
I mean,
well, Raya's garbage. The
maybe
hockey's
it's a restrainting order.
You don't want to date John Mayer anyway.
No, Raya. I mean, it's so fun. It's so fun to look at. Yeah. Just one little makeout.
I mean, I've had Andy I've had everyone I know refer me, and they just.
That is so weird.
But this is
great. I go
great.
on like once a month too, just to see, if they forgot to send me a notification. Like, you are on the wait list. We will contact you.
You know what? I want to make you feel a little bit better about this. My girlfriend, who was a Pitbull like backup dancer, is like one of the hottest girls I've ever seen in my life and has many celebrity lovers. Also got denied from Raya.
That's such a random reference.
Like, it's not. I'm just saying, like.
No,
I guess she's not famous enough.
Too hot. Maybe just to keep the bell curve low. They keep the really, really hot ones off.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying.
I understood it.
I do think that hockey is a great place to suggest that women go to meet men. Like,
well, don't suggest it until I land somebody. She's
got to get her man first.
Yeah, she's going to get
it. You guys you move the needle with your suggestions. So it's true. A couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it's also a great, it's a great outfit sport because soccer or a hot sport is like, then you're in the other girls are in a hot short.
And you're just sweating.
In a jean. Yeah, you're in a jean with a sexual boot, with a Utah fur jacket or whatever you do, with a hair out, with a tan. You're looking so hot, and the layering, the abilities to show what you want to show the allurement of it all.
Yeah. Just
you don't know what's under these layers,
bitch.
Yeah.
I love
okay,
it.
next
you need Housewives coded. The conflict is very Housewives coded in
Housewives. It is.
I love this so much for you. Okay, Heather's new book, Good Time Girl, is on sale today, December 3rd. You can order it wherever you get books. We love bookshop.org to support our indies, but of course, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everywhere you want. The Housewives season is about, we have a few episodes left. I mean, it's so good. I do think Bronwyn's a great new addition, although I'm not sure about her, but I think she's a great addition to the show.
Talk about someone who needs to make money so they can leave their husband. Sorry.
Sorry. Todd, you seem really mean.
Changing women's lives.
Changing women's lives.
Changing lives.
It's philanthropic, Bravo. It really is. It is.
Yeah, it really is.
Sorry
it really
to interrupt.
is. No, we're so excited we're so excited for your new book. I can't wait to read it. Good Time Girl is out December 3rd. Heather, thank you so much for giving the people what we need: our receipts, our proof, our timeline, our screenshots, our fillers, our PCP, and our sass.
Hell yeah.
Love it. I'll flash you in a goodbye solidarity. A Good Time Girl.
Thank
goodbye.
you so much.
Love
we
you.
will
see you next
Tuesday.